All righty, we are back. All right, so it took me a lot longer, which I wound up doing a lot of other things. I got me some lunch, finished talking to Mr. Nobody, got the floor swept finally. It's been like a month since it's really had a good sweeping, so I pulled everything out that's back over there behind me, and I got that all cleaned up and all the stuff that I couldn't get to for almost a year. So, but anyways, so we're gonna open up this. I've got this one and one more, and we will be back to caught up until at least my parts come in for the large power supply. So, figured we'd go ahead and knock this out. I'm going to take a look at a Cobra 2000. May not get to the 2000 tonight, probably not. Probably get to that one day this week and take a quick look at it, and then kind of go from there. So, awesome. Uh, the only thing it is BJ, you forgot one thing. You did send me the address to ship it back to, big guy, but you didn't send me your phone number. And if I do not have you already programmed in, that makes it a little difficult. But that's okay. We know who it is. What's the nice thing is we've got the letters, so we know who it is and where it goes. And we got the box with the information. So 99% of the time I do keep the boxes. However, the last couple of weeks, I've been in kind of halfway cleaning mode. So I have been throwing stuff out between boxes and whatever I can get my hands on, just about. If it looks like junk, it's been going. Um, Sadly, I have got a bunch of radios that are parts radios. You know, some of them are very difficult parts to find, or impossible parts to find. So that's part of the reason why I've held on to them. But I am at that point where, man, if somebody needs something for some different radios, I am just gonna start unloading that stuff. So, all right. Which he told me ahead of time it was going to be a Cobra 29, and he said he just didn't think something was right. So I figure what we'll do, figured I'd start with opening it up literally uh, out of the box. So that's what we did. One of the nice things is this is the actual black chrome. I've got one of these my own personal self from many years ago, whenever they first came out, limited edition. I've got one of these and the Harley Davidson edition. The what is that? The LX that they made back in somewhere around 2013, 2014 ish. So I've got one of those two stuck back. But anyhow, let's get our power cord out here. And there's some stuff around here. I just kind of started shoving stuff back in and out of the way, just trying to, like I said, make some room here. I've got my cord caught. There we go. All right. So let's get this plugged in. We're going to start from the basics. Let's see what we got. Now, as far as taking radios in, it is a very limited thing as far as me taking radios in. Like I said, I've been trying to concentrate on amps and power supplies. That's what I prefer. A lot of it just has to do with my time, my time restraint because of my job. So let's Sounds like we got a little bit of static there on the volume squelch, which that's an easy remedy, and nothing a little cleaner can't take care of. Get these slugs out of here because I've still got those 1000-watt slugs in there from I was playing around with an amplifier. And I think he said this has been tuned up. Come on, baby, get in there. All right. So check out the LEDs. Okay, so that all looks pretty good. Channel 9 and normal, it's not switching, but right dim. That's definitely working. Okay, let's go over here to the SWR. Calibrate. Okay, so the SWR is not working. Ah. Hello, hello, hello. Check, check. Audio. Hello, audio. Okay, so that's been turned into a talkback. Hello, audio. This is echo. Hello. Hello, audio. Audio check, check, check. All right, so sounds like the echo board needs to be adjusted because we get that real high pitched twine to it, but I don't know what version of echo board is in there. So I think he said he had variable power in this. It's not moving. That's standard. Hello, audio. Audio. Let's turn that talk back off. Audio. 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 So we are getting about 50 watts peak out of it. Audio. Audio. And about 10 bird. Let me take that 50 watt slug out. I'm gonna put a 25 in there. It just makes it easier to read. All right, so let's take a look at the meters here real quick. Da, 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 da. All right. So 25 watt scale, which is our top scale here. So 2.5 to about a watt. Hello, audio. So I might gain all the way up here. Audio, audio. And we are running at 14.5, which is what my power supply is set at. All right. And the RF gain, why would anybody do that? They took the RF gain and turned it into the variable instead of the delta tune. I'm actually surprised. I would rather have my RF gain as I would the delta tune. Hello, audio. Catch in there. on that pot. You got to turn the pot almost halfway up before you start really getting any wattage too. Hello, audio. All right, so that definitely can use some more. All right, so now we got some numbers. Yeah, they've got, see if we can zoom out enough and get the meters in here at the same time. Well, you can see, let's turn this slug around here. That's our 5-watt slug. Since we're hooked up to the dummy load, that way we can see the variable a little easier. That being 5 watts. There it goes down to 0, and we're still got over a quarter of the way before we go all the way down. Yeah, that really should have a little bit more linearity to it than that. And there's a catch in that. There's a bad spot in it. A couple of them. So that may need to get changed. So let's turn that down to 1/2 watt. Hello, audio. So yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't like this. Usually I'll use the Delta tune. That's pretty much a worthless knob on these radios. Like I said, I would rather have my RF gain as I would the Delta tune. So I don't know if that's his preference or not. That's something I'll have to check with him before we go diving in too deep on it. And I'm hooked up to the dummy load right now, but the squelch knob needs to be sprayed out along with the volume control. So, all right, let's open this thing up and see what we got. Hello, Greg. I see you popped in there. Nothing like being one of the night owls. I will have to say to everybody, though, that has shipped me anything in this year, great job on your packing, guys. Just like this radio. I don't know if he went and bought the particular packaging that he's got, but, you know, that is some good stuff for using for that. So, all right. Oh, boy. All right, so we haven't even opened up the other side. But I see a couple things that we need to definitely work on and do something with. This here, they're using this, I know, for the talkback. There's a lot better way to do the talkback than this. Especially the way this radio is designed, you can actually come right off of where they originally had the talkback and tap in right over here in the mic circuit itself, which is what I started doing years ago before they actually even came out with the factory talkback in these radios. So, you know, I'll go ahead and do away with that and rework your man, even the ground wire for it. Gee, Merry Christmas, yeah. Talk about doing the long way. They could have shortened that wire up, you know, brought the ground. Yeah, I only had to use about 2-inch piece versus 12-inch piece. So yeah, that mess has got to come out. Okay, so I know what that value there should be. Put a silver dip mica there. I'm not real sure. I know this is part of whoever tuned this. Same thing with this over here. Same thing here. Which, I mean, I suspected it had a MOSFET just because we got the 10 bird and then 50 watt peak. So let's go from there. Oh boy. And the Echo. Yep. That is the old style Echo board that you got to do the little adjustment on the side. There is much better Echo boards than this. Much better. I think he said that he wanted this out. I'm gonna have to check with him on that. All right, let's fire up the soldering iron. Okay, so that is their variable power. Yeah, we're gonna redo your variable. I know you said something about it was okay to replace that if I thought necessary, so yeah. Wow. All right. Now, one of the things, as soon as the soldering iron's hot enough, which it will be here in just a moment, I'm going to get this other tin out of the way. Now, I've never seen anybody do this particular style. It almost worries me, actually, to be brutally honest with you. So yeah, we'll take a look at that here in just a second. I'll show you. It's going to power off. I mean, I understand what they were trying to do. All right, let me go ahead and put these over here in the box. All right. So I gotta see how they've got that in there because I don't understand what they're doing. Unless they're doing what I think they're doing. In which case, again, a lot better ways. And yes. All right. So here's kind of another halfway no-no. Yes, it does work. Not real well. It does work. Let's see if we can zoom in here a little bit. Yeah, that's as far as the camera goes. All right. So right off your main input right here, I won't know the value for sure until I pull it out. I'm going to assume it's a 10A10. But they've got essentially what looks like a 10 amp diode for the main power coming in, going right into the main board. If you're going to do it for a safety circuit, pull this out, put it across here like everyone else, because this mod right here automatically cuts it down a half a volt. You lose a minimum of a half a volt, and I'll show that here real quick. We'll grab a little handy dandy meter here. I wish this, that's the reason why I thought I bought it originally, was because I thought I had a little flip where I could hold it up here like so. All right. There we go. All right, so change the lighting just a little bit here. Yes, sir. We are still live, Greg. Thank you for joining in at 3:30 in the morning here in Indiana. So, anyways, all right. Well, let's hook up our ground. And I am going to show you guys here. Turn the power back on. All right, so with our meter, we're reading 14.6. Okay. Speaker wire here out of the way. So 14.6, but that's not what is going through the rest of the board because of the way they've got that diode ran. Now, if we take this and we go up here, we can get into it. I have to get the probe. Okay, here. All right, so 13.8. So 13.8, but we've got 14.6 coming in based off of the meter. You know, so like I said, we're losing about a half a volt. You know, that's just in that particular format. You know, they added the cap here, which that's fine, but there was no need to take the one off the main board. That, if nothing else, that would have just added a little extra filtering too on the incoming power. Now, this radio, I can tell by the circuitry, this is one of the rare, very rare radios. And the reason why I say this is because if the audio chip goes out of this particular radio, it is done. Reason why I say that, and I don't know if I can get enough of a view on it for you guys or not. You know, this isn't the old, what is it, TA7222 audio chip. This uses that K, it's like a KIX or something like that. It's a really really off the wall. They only did it for like, I think 6 months, maybe a year. It's just, you know, a lot of people liked them because they put out all kinds of audio. But the problem is they never made the replacement audio chip. They never made them available. And I can't quite see all the numbers on it up underneath here. But I know that that is that oddball audio chip. And when that goes, there is no replacement. And I think there's only one guy like out in California that even knows how to make a conversion. And I've tried to do the conversion and I've never had success with it as far as to convert this over to use either the old style audio chip or the new style audio chip. So, like I said, when that goes, it's pretty much done for at that point. So, before we go any further, we know that everything works on our transmit. We're going to go ahead and hook up and check for our receive audio. I know we've got transmit audio, but you know, we're definitely going to need to redo the yeah, this has got to go. Same thing with the variable. I think once that's done, that'll probably take care of most of the problems that he was having with this. You know, a couple of the good points that they did go ahead and put heatsink back here, which for the old for that oddball audio chip is an absolute must. They put another one back here, but you're using double-sided adhesive thermal tape, which is actually pretty good. So those are actually very good. They did go ahead and coil up or roll up a piece of copper here and shove that down there. Again, it's not the prettiest thing, but it does work. So, you know, these things here we can leave, but we're definitely going to need to redo that variable. Yeah. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he said to just do away with the echo board because he doesn't even use the echo board. He just wanted a clean sounding radio. So, like I said, let's check out the receive on this thing. And then we'll go to the next stage. All right. So let's hook up power back up to this thing. Okay, let that warm up while we're getting our connector here. And for this test here, I'm actually going to use the Wayne Kerr function generator that I've got, or signal generator, excuse me. And the model that I use is a PSG 2400L that is mil-spec'd out. I've actually got two of these, this one and another one for a backup. All right. So, turn this on. We need to hook up our external speaker. Because before we start pulling anything apart, I want to know what we got all the way. Definitely get that sprayed out too. channel 20. Okay, so we do have receive. So that definitely needs to be sprayed out. Receive's not too bad. Just fraction low, but not enough to hurt anything. All right. Let's turn off the signal there. Dum, dum, dum. Let's see. Yeah, same here. Yeah, it looks like just you, Greg. You are still welcome to go ahead and send me a message. You know, as far as that goes. I actually need to build up some more of these too. That was actually on my to-do list. But we're definitely going to replace whatever version that they've got with mine. That way we can get that taken care of. But we're going to fix this. We're going to fix this input power for sure. Let's get this camera back here a little bit. Alrighty. I figured Mr. Nobody would probably be back in here. All right, so I'm going to turn this other light on. There we go. Well, you guys can kind of look over my shoulder while we're doing this. I'm going to have to fire up the DC ring station because we are going to need that. If, ands, or buts about it. And I'm going to grab a power choke. I've actually got a couple of those already pre-made for this. I'm going to turn that extra fan off too because I don't need it. Alexa, play Country Heat Radio. All right. I don't think that's going to be loud enough that my microphone will pick it up, but I can still hear it. And we're going to Yeah. And get rid of this talkback stuff here. Oh, there's one little thing that's out of there that makes it look a lot nicer. Yep, 10/10. Since that's going to be too short, we're going to replace that when we're done. Let's go ahead and pull that ground out too. All right, so I'm going to put this teeny, tiny wire. Let's see how thin that is. And this is going to be strapped with 2 wires, much larger, because that's like a 24 gauge wire, and these are 18 that I use here. I'm just going to strip the one little back. I know I'm going to have to trim it more, but just the one ground wire. I mean, you can't even see this one in the. Yeah, there you can now. You know, it's 3 times. You know, 3 times the original size, just one wire. So anyhow, do. Let's see. Just trying to figure out how much I want to strip back before I stick it down in the hole here. I'm also going to replace this wire here going up to the switch. Trying to see through the circuit board. And where that's going. Should be right there. Check that out here. It's 4,700. Yeah, I don't know. We're just here to fix it, not judge. Okay. Hoping that drill bit will get me big enough that I can get my wire down in there, because I'm actually going to go ahead and do a direct feed. Yep, that will work. Okay. Black snake got in the house. Oh, man. I'm trying to keep number 3 straight when I can. Alexa, turn the volume down to 1. Yeah, trying to keep number 3 straight is definitely a job all on its own. He's a character. You gotta love him. I've known him for several years, and he's been a very good friend. I know he's a little crazy, but yeah, that's what makes the world go around. I'm gonna hook this up too, as far as one of these other grounds. A lot of times on these radios, they run the ground wire over here, and there's a little ultra fine small section right there underneath this ferrite that's all that's feeding the entire radio. It's ground, off that little 24 wire. So I actually like to move it over here to the main, to main large section, which whenever I replace the diode for the 1 amp diode that they put in there for protection, I usually use a 6 or a 10 amp diode. I'll use the ground side a lot of times for the, for the incoming, negative on this, or 0 volts, depending on what classification you want to call it. But we're going to run dual power and dual ground wires inside this. Sometimes it just depends on what mood I'm in and what modifications I'm doing as to whether or not I do the double wire like this one's going to be, or if I do a single, which on a single I'll usually go up to a 16 gauge if I'm doing a single. All right. So those that are on YouTube, if you are able to hear any of the music in the background, I do not own the rights to the music. I do not make any money off of it. Okay. So we're going to put this down. Strip this back. There we go. There we go. That's going to land there beautiful. Okay. Because the way I'm going to do this, I'm actually going to be able to reuse this wire. I'll show you here in just a minute if I can get it to fish back down in there the way I want. Come on, baby. Drop down through there. Because I'm actually going to cut this down because of the way I've got this strapped here. When I put in a little jumper, all this is going to do is actually just turn on the face of the radio, and everything else will be ran off of the main input. Oh, 140 miles? Oh, so you're down there in the Carolinas too then, huh? Yeah, the older 29s like this, we can do a lot with, and everybody has. You know, we've got the new version, you know, where they talked everybody into doing the FM. And, you know, I've seen the insides of one of those. I've not actually had one on the bench. Had a customer actually take one all apart, take lots of pictures for me. Many of them are pretty good pictures. And I've taken a look at it, and it's actually got me kind of worried, you know, to be honest with you. Okay. I think I can do that anyways. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Yeah, I can. It's just where I got to make a little incision in the board. And where is it at? There it is. And this will keep our voltage up a little bit hotter on the audio transformer. There we go. This is an old trick I used to do. Okay. Yeah, let's get this echo board out of there. Get that mess out of the way. I should have went ahead and removed that too, because I'm going to take that variable and change that variable out. I mean, it works, but like I said, it's got some issues. Okay. Let's see if we can get that fish down here. Okay. And we're going to also go ahead, since I'm right here, I'm just going to go ahead and redo this whole mic jack here, since we're going to pull this out. Yeah. Jeez. Anyways, yeah. So let me cut 4 pieces of wire and grab a ferrite here for that. Oh, I guess I need to actually pay attention. You've been talking away. Let's see. I can't hear nothing. Oh, that's good. Let's see. You went big no radio equipment for 30 years. Now you're getting back into. Well, as far as the jumpers, I don't know if 3Made has got any in stock. But I will tell you that now this is just a little stubby that I've got made up, because once in a while I've got somebody that just wants a little bitty one. But I really, really do recommend the RG400 for like your jumpers, because you can put a ton of power through these things, and 3Made can go ahead and actually set you up with a couple of tuned jumpers, because I mean he's got all the same equipment as I do as far as to be able to do this, because he's got he's got that AR. I don't remember if it's a 35 or 55 like I've got, but he's got I know he's got one of those, and like I said, the coax is the only thing I don't know that he's got. But yeah, this is definitely the stuff to have as far as if you get a hold of it. The jumpers that I've made out of this stuff, I've used now for 4 or 5 years on the workbench. They are, they are the bee's knees. Unless you're running, 4CX 10,000 or 40,000 or something insane. Yeah, then it might be a little different, but yeah, and that's part of the reason why I'm kind of slowly getting away from them. It's making it very, very difficult to actually come across what we need. Um, I hate to say that, but it really is the case. It's very, very difficult to come across all the pieces and parts that we need in order to go ahead and do radios anymore. Red, white, blue, and yellow. So red. Let's start with white. There's the red, white, and blue. And I'll grab the yellow here. Okay. Yeah, I've been doing radios for about 30 years, and I know there's a lot of other people that, they've been doing it for 30, 40 years. Uh, and the newer radios, a lot of it is now it's going to get to the point where, a couple of the guys that I've spoke with, and I didn't know this, and I wish I would have known this several years ago. Otherwise, I would have bought actually some stock in them if I'd have known that they would have actually sold them to me. But like, for example, the new Striker radios, um, if the problem's severe enough, you can actually buy a complete new board to drop directly down in place of the old chassis. And everything's set up as a plug and play where you just throw throw this way out of the chassis, drop the new board in, hook everything up, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. And that's, again, it's became a throwaway society. That's what we're dealing with. So, well, good morning or good evening. What is it? CCREA. Caesarea 76. All right, so we're going to run a Teflon wire here for the receive, transmit, receive, transmit, and audio and ground. I'm just going to go ahead and replace the wiring that's already there, since we're replacing everything else. Because he's wanting a decent talking radio. So, that's what I'm going to try to give him here. And I believe he is running an amplifier, and this is something that's, if you're running a lot of power, this is actually almost a must. Just put an RF choke either on the microphone or inside the radio like this. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you've already got that much, Greg, yeah, like I said, definitely hit him up, because I know that he can make it up for you. He can tune you the jumpers. Whenever I make mine, I usually go ahead and make mine with the silver Teflon connectors myself. And a lot of that had to do with, over the years, we had a lot of really chintzy PL259s. Whenever Amphenol decided to either quit making the PL259 or whatever the case may be, because usually, used to, Amphenol was like, the king of connectors. And well, you just couldn't get them for years. And, everybody started making generic this and generic that. And I mean, nothing really worked well. And then I come across some silver plated Teflon PL259s. I don't even know what brand they are, but they have been exceptional. I've ran 10, 15, 18,000 watts through them, and they hold up good. So, alrighty. Pretty little choke. So we can keep everything nice and tight here. I'm going to put a couple of zip ties, one on each side of that. Yes, good morning, good morning. Oh, it's Charles. Oh, okay. Well, buddy, I ain't seen you or heard from you in a month of Sundays. I guess you and everybody's doing good on the farm. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yeah, and I think that was like 6,000 bird or close to it almost. Jeez, Pete, man. I'm just gonna have to cut this zip tie. That's all there is to it. Now, when you're through rebuilding yours, if you got any spare money, I could use some help. Of course, my wife, she'd probably like it down there where you're at. She likes hot weather. I'm not a big fan of hot weather, but my wife is. Now I'm going to get that all the way out of my way. Yeah, I told Mama once she gets over here to the U.S., you know, as long as she'll settle in down here for at least a year, I'll look into selling this place and moving someplace warmer. But Jiminy Christmas, between where you're at down there in Mississippi and uh, uh, Jeremy over there in Alabama, geez, oh Pete's, man, I don't know how the hell you guys survive down there. You know, man, it's so damn humid. It's like, I ain't got a clue, dude. I really don't have a clue of how in the hell you do it. I really don't. I mean, I went down there to Alabama, and like I said, man, I'm, I like to roast. That's too hard on a fat boy. That humidity. But Mama's kind of halfway in retirement mode because, you know, at age 50, women get to retire down there or over there in China. So, she'll be in full retirement mode when she gets here. So I don't know if that's good or bad because, if she gets to being at home for too long, my honeydew list will be so damn long, I won't know what to do. Whenever I built this new house here back in 2015, I was sitting there thinking to myself, man, I won't have to do anything for almost 20 years. Jeez. Even with a brand new house, man, you still have maintenance. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, you was ready to put on a long sleeve t-shirt. Okay, I think that's the way that's going to need to go. Let's look at the little knob here before I start putting it all together. Okay. Yeah, there's three indents on this. There we go. So I wanted to make sure I was on the right one before I actually screwed it all together. We're gonna put this back together here. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that channel 9 switch just yet. But I'll make it into something for him anyways. Yeah, that was the 1970s to early 1980s talkback mod that somebody did on this thing. There we go. Yeah. That's one of the old Echo boards. I mean, I remember when those used to actually be cool. Not no more. I got to figure out about this RF gain because I'm gonna change that. We're gonna put the RF gain back for him and pull the Delta tune out. I don't know why anybody would use the RF gain. I really don't. I think the reason why is because of the fact that it's a 1K potentiometer, which is really good, really good as far as if you're doing a variable. Of course, I like to use a 2K myself because I like that real slow movement. All right, so let's trim these up here. Yeah, I'm ready to actually put my air conditioning in, but yeah, been busy with everything else here in the shop, just trying to get stuff out and then clean up around the yard. Finally got rid of that damn couch. Let's sit there all winter. Paid the guy last year to take it off. Oh yeah, I'll have it taken care of before October. Well, October came and went. So did November, December, January, February, March. But finally got rid of it. Okay. I am ready to turn my fan back on or open my door. Jeez, oh Pete's, man, it's warm in here. Tell you what, while I'm out of here, let me walk right next door here, shut out the light. There we go. Close up my little storage because I've actually been taking equipment and all kinds of other stuff over there. What are you doing up anyways this late in the evening, Charles? I mean, I know you're a second shift type person, but yes, owning a house is definitely a full-time job. Yes, yes. That's the reason why I've been asking people, as far as about the weather, as far as where they're at. I've been asking people here and there. I'm yeah, trying to think of a good place to actually move if I actually did get off my ass and do it again. Because if I do move this time, I mean it's gonna be more of a permanent, permanent type situation. So oh, you're a mile from the Gulf. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never really looked it up on the map or been there. So I can't say that I know anything about it. I know my one cousin, she lives down in Vicksburg. Um, uh, bu- 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 yeah, Vicksburg, Mississippi. So let's go ahead and take care of that one too. Now, do you ever think you're going to get back into this, Charles, at some time or at some point? I mean, I know you kind of went off on a whole different tangent here a while back as far as on what you were going to do for radios and all that good stuff, but I didn't know if I didn't know if your heart was still with it or not. Oh, come on, you little devil, get in there. We're just gonna have to solder that one and pull that other one back because I'm not happy with it. Yeah, I don't want any of those little hairline follicles there to get into anything. So. Well, that one just does not want to go in the hole. Sadly, I can't tin those and then stick them in the hole because then it's too fat to get down in the hole. Okay. So I'm going to hold that in there. Hollywood and Palm Keys. $400 amp service put in. Jeez. I don't even think I want to know at that point. You never know. You might actually want me to build you a driver. I know once you go steel, you pretty much want to stay that way too. But steel's a pretty good way to go too. Especially if you get up there. Honestly, I mean, once you start looking at 3,000, 3,000 or more on power, it's almost better to go that way. Because if you have the box set up or it'll loaf, I mean, the box will last you 20, 30 years. That's one of the things that I got to say about that. I mean, if it wasn't so doggone expensive to get into it, and I've still got a small one that I'd like to build for myself just to build. I mean, I built some of the old sweep tube amps way back in the day, but yeah, matter of fact, I think I know where the last tube amp I built, I think I know where it's still at. And sadly, it's just rotting away. The gentleman that owned it, he passed away, and his parents are still alive, but I think it's still sitting down there in his trailer that hasn't been opened up in 5 years now. And the trailer was in pretty bad shape. Okay, so yellow, white, blue, red. Yeah, I don't know if you've pressed any Teflon wire here lately, Charles, since you've been kind of out of it. But that stuff has, uh, it's basically doubled in the overall cost. I did come across a company and I went ahead and sucked it up and dropped the money. I kind of had it and kind of didn't at the same time. Um, but I went ahead and ordered 5,000 feet of wire. And put the red one in first because it's going to be easier to do that. Yeah, I don't have the money to play around with like I did. That trip to Thailand pretty much socked that all to hell. And I've done this many a times for you, Charles. And for a while, I was pumping these out fast enough that I didn't even have to think. I could just sit there and unsolder everything and start dropping parts in. Needs to be moved up one hole. Let's see here. An engine and 400 amp alternator. Yeah, yeah. Sadly, we've all seen that. I mean, it. Yeah, yeah. That's just like I've got people that they still think coax today ought to be 40, 50 cents a foot, and it's like well, man, them days are gone. I mean, even if you're buying kind of cheap coax, them days are gone, guys. Yeah, them days are long gone to history. Alrighty, now we can trim these wires down a little bit. Now we can zip tie that corner back up. But I am glad to see that you at least popped in there for a while. I mean, man, it's been forever since I've really heard from you. And I've tried here and there to send you a little something, just to let you know that, hey, I'm still alive too. You know, last year wasn't a real great year for me. I mean, it was, and the fact that, you know, finally found somebody, but. All right, so I get that tack back in place. I'm gonna check that audio and make sure I got the microphone wired right. But I am gonna spray that out real quick. Kind of a foaming cleaner. I like spraying that in there first, and that way it'll do its little thing. And then I'll spray it back out here in a minute. Kind of clean and lubricate that. I took care of that little wonky spot that I was feeling in there. All right. So now I'm gonna change out that variable though too, because it's not that great. All right. Not too worried about putting that cap in there. We'll do that at the end. Okay. Oh, we got a receive. That's good. Hello, hello, hello. Audio. Audio. Okay. Hook that up because otherwise it's just going to sit there and show 0. Go. Hello, audio. Audio. Wow. Just in the few minor changes made here. I'll show you here what we've got now. We're still at the same voltage as what I've got because I don't change my voltage. Rarely do I ever change it. Around about there. Audio, audio. Now we got 12.5 bird and 60p. Audio, audio, audio. Almost 12.5 anyways. Just making those minor little changes. So huge difference. Huge difference. Yeah, 50 cents a watt and then $1 a watt. You know, and everybody was going by the peak power back then. Yeah, 42. Yeah, over $4,000. Yeah. If you're gonna cook some breakfast, you need to cook me some too, dude. Man, I can't believe just what little different, you know, what few changes I've already made. And like I said, I've not even finished. I haven't even finished back here or undone this. And that's made a hell of a difference on this thing. Jeez. So somebody must have got the tune just about right on this thing to get that kind of oomph out of this. Alrighty. I just can't in good conscience leave this wired in with a piece of whatever the hell that is. Cat 5 cable. There she goes. Alrighty. I even halfway unhooked it. Why? Why go that far and not go ahead and change it out? Oh, that's the reason why. Well, that sucked the big whang. Means I got to take the faceplate off to change out that knob. All right, well, it is what it is. There we go. I'd have realized that I wouldn't have put this back on, but I didn't need to because they had enough cutout on the back of it. Okay. Oh, I forgot this is not the one that just slips right off. Jeez. Yeah, the RF gain and the delta tune, man, why didn't they do the rest of these like that? Man. Man, that's going to be a pain. I don't think there's any of us that like having to do this. Yeah, I'm actually surprised this weekend. Everything's went pretty good overall for me. I actually got a lot of things done around the house that I needed to get done. Not to mention out here in the shop, I actually was able to get almost everything caught up. And I've got one more. I've got one more after this one before I'm actually caught up. Nope, there's one more. Okay, is that the last one? I think it is. So that should be able to stay there. Ah, a little bit of hot glue. Okay. Something that's still holding it back. I think it's not hot glue because I've cut it already. Let's see if I can slice a little piece of that off of there and instead of just cutting through it. Okay, it's almost free. All right, I'm gonna have to take that too. Sometimes you can get by without having to take this one screw and clamp out. Let's go ahead and let it release. Yeah, see, there's no reason. There's plenty of clearance. I could have cut that out. Would have made my life so much easier. I wouldn't have had to have taken this whole face off. Wow. Now, some of this surface rust that he's got started here, I need to spray some neutralizer on that. for a little cleaner and neutralizer bowl here. Just gotta move the camera out of the way here for a second, guys. All right, got that sprayed down. We'll let that do its thing while we go ahead and do the rest. All righty. Yeah, that probably would. Yeah, Lord, I know I've done, geez, oh Pete's, man, thousands of radios. You know, when you start going back over the last 30 years, like I said, man, you know, you're talking thousands of radios. Jeez, Pete's. Just I'm slowing down. Old age has definitely started catching up on me. Yeah, they already had two of the wires cut off. The only one they didn't have cut off was the blue. So I think he was going to until he pulled the knob and realized that, oh, shit, I'm going to have to pull the face. All right, so let me get a rag here. Okay. Get the excess there off. One thing I am going to do, though, before I put that in, I'm going to change that ground wire I've got on mine. I know the last couple of them I cut. I'm just a hair too short. So I'm going to change that out real quick before I put it in there because it's a whole lot easier to do it right now. Okay. I think I'm one of the only techs that work all through the night and sleep during the day. Everybody else works during the day and sleeps at night. Something wrong with that picture, you know? All right, Greg, if you're going to go eat, you take care, buddy. We'll catch you on the round trip, so to speak. Now comes the real fun, putting all this crazy mess back together on the front. But all that had to be done, just get in there, change that pot. There we go. Now we got to put these aggravating screws back in. I got to loosen that one back up because that slid on me. I'm going to start that one there in the middle, and then we'll work to the outer edges. Usually I just try to get the first one that I can get my hands on. There we go. Now this is the one that's the tricky one. That don't just happen every day on that one. Car's falling right into place. Good deal. Just not out of the woods yet, guys. We still got this one last one here, this clamp. Alrighty. I don't mind taking these particular screws out with a screw gun, but I sure don't like putting them back with a screw gun. Not as thin as this plastic is. All right. Just about got this thing licked, guys. All right. Now I got to get a drill bit. Try to get that thing drilled. Yeah. Let me get a screw and nut for that. Normally I'll go ahead and replace those while they're right inside the radio. Yeah. But I don't want to disturb everything that's already been done in this area. So let's see what size drill bit I need for this real quick before we start drilling. I don't want to drill it too big. Okay. So 125,000, so the clearance is going to be 1/8 of an inch. So I can use this little stubby instead of using my long drill bits. Make sure I get that burr off, and then I'll make sure we get rid of all them shavings. There we go. I will have to say thank you, Early Adams, Mr. Three Maid. That was probably one of the best ideas, I would say, that somebody's given me. I have seen that man use one in his shop so often. It's something I'd never really thought of. And I went to Home Depot, just got some 1/4-inch line, and made up what I need. I've got the air compressor set at about 50 psi, just a little bitty, gallon and a half. It isn't even a big one. But I traded a guy for it here several years ago, thinking, I'll use it for something one day. Well, one day came around, and here we are. And usually this variable doesn't get hot enough to actually justify this, but I'll go ahead and put it on there anyways. Okay. Without having that K-lock on there, I don't have to worry about it, but I'll put a just a little bit of Loctite. That's the purple stuff, so it's a real mild. It's not even super duty. It's just enough to basically hold everything in place. So, get that taken care of. Let's get these knobs put back on and the variable hooked up. Right here, I might as well go ahead and spray that face down and clean that face too. Yeah, I was wondering what was on that face whenever it came in, and find out after pulling that all apart, that's actually rust. There we go. There we go. These knobs all lined up here. Okay. Get some glue here out of the way. So you think that FM is actually going to go anywhere now that it's been legalized for CB? I think that's my big question. I mean, I've tried with other people as far as on road trips and stuff. I've tried doing the FM, and I it sounds neat, but I really don't see it as being helpful. Not on that particular band. It's just I just don't see it happening. I'm sure some people are going to go gaga over it, but you got to figure out now if they're on AM or FM, and white blue is just something else. Yeah, that is true. And yeah, I do see that can be that can definitely be a learning curve for, especially a lot of the new guys. Well, not just the new guys, but also the old timers, the guys that are, in their 70s, and 80s, that's never talked on anything but AM. Um, that's going to be quite an experience. I mean, FM does have its place. Don't get me wrong, but hmm. I'm just kind of curious as to what all they did here. I know what this one should be. Yeah, they scratched the values off. uh, Alrighty. A couple of zip ties here and straighten that mess there up. That way it doesn't look like what he had in there by no means, but okay. Do just a hair more. And get this all tucked in place, get it soldered. Then we'll go back and start checking our work and see about putting a little power to it. Okay. Nice, neat little tuck. Okay. Okay. No, that's already right. That's fine. Not sure what they upgraded it to, but 1500. Okay. And let's see here. I need one of these. In just a second here, I'll get caught up here. Let's see. Yeah, that is true on that. A lot of people are going to have to, relearn a whole new system basically, based off of the FEM. That's actually how I burn up my first linear, back when I was, like 21, 22. I think it was 22 when I finally got my first linear. Okay. Now let's go ahead and put our safety diode in too while we're at it. Yeah, definitely going to be a learning curve coming up. Okay. I'll get that in there. If I can, I'm going to reuse that, but we'll find out here in a minute. Okay, there's that. Yep. Okay. So I'm happy with that. Now, yeah, just not gonna work. Besides which, that's a 16-volt cap somebody put in there instead of a 25. Get the glare off of it here a little bit. And yeah, 16-volt. Yeah, that's not bothered with that. I'll take this one out and I'll upgrade it like I've always done. That one's a little small anyways. Yeah, I've never even seen a 1500 microfarad capacitor. All right, so let's go with the 3300. That'll still fit nicely in the location there. Come on, you little son of a gun, get on there. And while we're right here, let's go ahead on our ground strap too. And grab a piece of wire for that. Yes, it is. How do you like yours? Because I actually like my old one a little bit better. Give me just a second here. Yeah, the weather was so nice today, though. One of the things that I wound up doing was I cleaned up the old pitcher pump, put the old pitcher pump back on for the winter time or for the summertime, and got it primed. Well, that water coming out of there is cold, cold, cold. There's some good water out of that. Out of that. Yeah, I'll tell you. You know, I had that one that you've got. I had that one for about 10 years, and the only reason I even remotely let it go was because that one's actually a better desoldering station than the one I've got um, over here. It's just this one is kind of an all-in-one, so that I can kind of tinker around with some of the small SMD and SMT stuff. But you know, I mean, it's got little bitty, little bitty tips. This one's actually a fairly good size. I mean, I could actually do what I'm doing right now with that tip, and then the heat gun. But the way they've got this set up, it draws the air that it needs or pushes the smoke back out this way, and then it goes in reverse for the air. So I have to undo the cable here whenever I'm using this. So it's kind of a trade-off. I mean, it works, but it doesn't work quite as good as the other one. That is one of the things that I will say I'm very sad about. I do have access to another one that is on the other side of the workbench. It's actually the boys. Um, but I don't know if he'll leave it. Chances are he will, because when it comes to soldering or anything like that, um, he actually prefers to be down here with me. But I mean, he bought and paid for it, but it is on the other side of the workbench, so it's there anytime I want to use it. But now it works, the soldering iron on it, because it's a dual. It's not a three-way like that one is. His is a dual soldering and desoldering station. and it works pretty good. I actually thought about, but he's in the same same situation I am, because he works for the same company, and we work all the time. That is the one thing that I don't like. I mean, yeah, the money's nice, but I get I get tired of working all the time. To be brutally honest with you. I really get tired of working all those hours. I mean, right now I could use the extra money because I've got to spend it to give to the wife, and then whatever I make here in the shop, I've been trying to redo some stuff here in the shop and all that good jizz. So, there's no, sadly, I make good money, but at the same time, there is no money left at the end of it. I know it's going to be another year before my wife's here, but um, I've actually thought about coming down your direction and actually just kind of halfway checking it out as far as whether or not I thought I could handle the weather and what it's like around there. Because, like I said, she wants to move someplace warm. Um, that's her big thing. She is over the cold. Because where she's at there in China, it actually, she's actually got about the same weather as I've got. Okay, so we got that out of there. That's out of there. That. Oh, here I am soldering away and forgot to move that. Yeah, well, I wouldn't like the floods. I'd want someplace a little drier. All right, so you didn't miss anything. I just soldered in the grounding here, so we got that taken care of. All right, so the variable's hooked back up. Well, that's good. The thing I'm kind of curious about, though, I'll have to use my phone for that. Because it's going to matter on what we do next. So you can see the numbers on that transistor. Trying to hold the camera and stuff, that way I can kind of see it's faded on that. Okay. And it is a 520. Okay, good. I just needed to know what I'm working with. All right. So let's hook this back up. We've got our antenna hooked up, power hooked up. If I can hit the hole. There we go. Alrighty. Put these up and get the right screwdriver here. That way we can adjust that carrier. Use that 5-watt slug here, and I'll show you guys here in a minute. Okay, about 0.2 of a watt, as far down as he can make it. That way it's not on the 0 plus, but that way he's got the full adjustment here. Yeah, my head's gonna get in the way here for a second. Okay. All right, so all the way down is about 0.2 of a watt. Audio. Oh yeah, got mic gain and everything. It's just shut all the way off. Audio. 15 bird. Audio. 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 About 60 feet. And 11 watt dead key. Audio. Audio. And that's about 65 on a PEP. This is one hot radio, but I know part of it has to do with that audio chip too. Audio. 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 All right, one more small little adjustment. Then we're going to check out the receive. There's one more capacitor in the circuit I want to change out. A little dog tit on that. Loose, just there we go. There we go. I don't know how in the world that got turned that direction. That cabinet will not go on. I'm not going to fight it, not whenever I can put a new zip tie in place. Now I still got to figure out and get the RF gain back in place. So we got to figure out what they did on that. Okay. Let's see. RF gain. I think one of the wires is there. I just happen to have one apart laying over there, so that's probably what I'm going to do. I know he's got a couple of places marked here, and that's probably what he has done. Well, matter of fact, yeah, RF gain. So yeah, that must have been for the other wire for the Delta tune that he had clipped off. So that's where the RF gain is. He's got that kind of boogered right there, but all right. I had another partial roll I was going to try to get finished up. I don't know where it went. I don't remember which one of these I cut the longest. I think it was the green's a little longer. Yeah. So we're going to put it in the furthest hole back. Alrighty. It's been raining for 3 days on and off. Oh, it doesn't flood? Yeah. Well, I think you said that if I was down there, I'd actually be all right as far as setting up a shop down that way too. I don't know if that still holds true or not, or if it will in another year or so, but of course I know nothing's ever promised either. So you think I'd be able to have a decent shop down there? Yeah, that's always the big thing, is wondering whether or not, whether or not you can make it, when you go to a different area altogether. Especially when you move someplace where, you only know maybe one person. Well, I might have to replace that zip tie again. There we go. I usually like to cinch them down, but I always try to leave just enough wiggle room. Get that out of the way here. Well, there is no spare wire on that one. Yeah, like I said, I think whoever originally set this up, they just didn't want to go through the extra effort. I think is really what it all boiled down to. Pull that face off to change that knob. I think that's the reason why they did that. But all they'd had done was use the SWR calibration on this, and because I've set one up, I think, with, that way with you, where we just use the SWR calibration. Let's see, all the way up. Yeah, so middle and top. Trying to remember which ones I need to, which one of the two I need to hook up. I knew the center, so that we had the receive to go the right direction. But yeah, I'm really interested in taking a look at this new version. I just haven't been able to bring myself to spend the money for something that I know I'm basically going to trash either. I think there's enough solder left on that to stick. There we go. Alrighty. Nope. Sorry. I was trying to solder that up and forgot to move the camera again. Alrighty. Alright. Should get his receive back. Yep. It's working like it's supposed to. Zoom out here a little bit. Nice and smooth, all the way up and all the way down. Full control of the variable. Set it at 2.5 watts. Audio, 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 audio. About 13 there. We'll back it down a little bit more. Audio, 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 audio. 14. Audio. 10 what dead key. Audio. We'll get 15. Audio. Audio. Not too bad. Like I said, not bad at all. Yeah, it must be nice to eat and lay back. Yeah, I still got to fix me some dinner yet. Well, I think overall, I think this guy's going to be super happy. You know, the only thing that's left, and it's still fired up, so it's not going to be a big deal. When I cook up, I'm going to see if I can't tune that receive a little bit, because that receive is just a little on the low side. I was sitting there just thinking about why I haven't heard my wife, and she just now sent me a message. So, let me answer that here real quick. As soon as I get that hooked up. RF on. I ought to hear something. Man, that ought to take a heck of a lot more receive than that. I'm pumping quite a bit of signal into it just to get that. I'll take care of that here in a second. Let me answer my wife. Alrighty, let her know that I'm finishing up. Alrighty. Answer her back here real quick. I told her I'm about to finish up. Okay. I know it may get a little loud here, but I'm gonna, volume's at halfway, which right now that meter actually ought to be pegged with as much signal as I'm putting into it.
Honey, your wife go to home. Okay.
Yes, honey. Be careful. I love you. All right. That's the meter I'm talking about, guys. That way you guys can kind of see here. And turn the volume down because we're almost up to 80 now, which is good. Let's see. Yeah, I like to set it up to where to go down a little bit lower than a half watt. And the only reason why I do that is because on almost all potentiometers, when you take a potentiometer, when you go to turn a potentiometer down, on the inside, there's a wiper that goes on inside here. And when you go to turn that all the way down, a lot of times you wind up with a little bit of a dead spot right there at the beginning. And that way it forces you to move it off of that just a little bit. So that's the only reason why I like to turn them down a little bit lower than that. That way you can actually get it above that point and then go from there. But yeah, this receive, man, it was way down. I'm gonna bring this up because I know we were basically at 80. I'm gonna turn it up to 50 using the radio, and that way we can go back, see if we can gain a little more. Okay. It should drop down a little bit when we hit the noise blanker. Good. Now, let's see if we still have a receive and start backing it down. We should have receive there, which we do. Turn the first noise blanker on. That's good. We should be able to move it up 2 points and then just break that. Good. Okay. Let's see if we can get just a little bit more. It's getting better. I'm gonna have to bump that up just a little bit more. Well, I've got more to work with here. There's that little extra hidden that I was looking for. Okay, go 2 points. It should kick 1. Okay, that works. It's got a heck of a noise blanker. Oops, wrong one. Let's go up here. I'll back that down to about 80. Sorry for the noise there, guys, but oh yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I won't have to touch that noise blanker. That thing's wonderful just the way it is. Now, the only other thing I need to do is, and I can do that without that crazy tone, push that. We're going to set the SWR meter here, or the signal meter here real quick. I wonder if I got a bad variable because I can't get that thing to change. I'm going to go ahead and set the squelch here real quick while I'm thinking about it. All right. There we go. I will say that about the C series. They will definitely take more drive. That is one of the things I will say that I like them, best about them. Um, I sure like tuning the Toshibas a heck of a lot better though, because the Toshibas, you can, once you've got one or two amplifiers figured out as far as size wise, like a two, once you have the 1, 2, and a 4 pill figured out, um, for the most part, they're all about the same going up to 16 and 32. Once you've got the three basics built, you're pretty much good at that point. But the HGs, they're a little different. um, but they have become, out of the ones that I've been working on over the last couple of years, they've become more and more um, settled in, I guess. And I don't know if it's the fact that they're tightening up on their tolerances or what, but I don't have to tune them quite as much as what I used to. So that's a good thing. All right, make sure that I got that meter set good here. And apparently that meter or that variable just needed rocked back and forth a few times. All right. Now we got that taken care of. The only thing that's left is his normal and 19 or normal and 9, whatever that is. I need to fix that switch or make it do something. So, but squelch is going to work now again, like it should. When I zoomed in, I got to zoom back out. So, yeah, that made a huge difference. Now, the only other thing that I haven't checked, I'm going to go to 1 and 40 and check out the power, because this thing may be misaligned too. Oops. Yeah, I know. I'll have to reset you. I just seen that I had coax hooked up. Yes, I know. There, I reset you. You're happy now. There we go. Now let's take a quick look here. Delta tune. Just easy to set it at 2.5. Let's look at the dead key first. That's good. Channel 40. Audio 12.5. Audio 12. That's pretty close. That is real close, and the carrier is the same. All right, so let's go back to 20. About a half watt. Audio. So at a half watt dead key, we're getting a good 14 bird out of it, and 60 on the peak. Audio. Actually 65. Audio. And if he would upgrade his power cord, because this is just a 16 gauge, if he'd upgrade that power cord to like a 10, trim it off right behind here, and change that all out to like a 10 gauge. He'll probably gain another couple of watts out of this thing. But we've got a nice smooth working variable now. We've got that crappy echo board that was causing him problems. Like I said, I've got to do something with that switch on the front as far as the 9 and 19, or normal and 9. I will say that, thankfully somebody did leave me the 2 wires actually for that, so I can actually put that back and make that function again, just to make everything, more copacetic. The only other thing that I can think of, let's see here. After I do that, what else? There was something else I was thinking and I done forgot. So, yeah, we can hook that up, get that squared away. But I think talk-wise, I think he's going to be in real good shape. I need to check that antenna warning indicator. Radio! This is where this radio does so much more power now. Audio. 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 There, that way I know it won't go off whenever he does about 15 bird on this thing. So, all right. Let's shut that off for a second. All right, so I'm right. That's 20. Should be able to just clip that. Uh-huh. So they have that tied together for the bright and dim. Uh-huh. I see. Okay. Well, why don't we put that right back? Thought maybe I'd get lucky and they just left those wires put together. Well, what we can do, clean that up a little bit. We're just going to make a tiny jumper and get rid of all the excess. Well, to go from 10 to, from 50 watts peak to 60 watts peak, and then go to from 10 bird up to 15, and then the variable actually work and function like it should. I think he's going to be a heck of a lot happier with this. Okay, well, I think for me to do the channel 9 or normal, I think what I'm going to wind up having to do is either pull up the schematic or look at one of the other ones that I've got. I mean, that's not normally something anybody really cares about, and it may not even be worth doing, depending on what he's, if he cares about it or not. So But we could always use that for, something else too. That's the other side of that. Okay. But anyways, yeah, I think he's going to be real happy with this as an overall. Definitely think he's going to be happy. Let's see, preamp, hearing aid, yeah. Yeah, glass and steel for me. Well, the glass, that's kind of a touch and go on the glass. I think I'd rather do the steel at this stage in the game, to be honest with you. 2290s and the 2879s, haven't decided what to do with them. Are they Toshibas or are they the HGs? Oh, okay. Yeah, if you bought them back in 1990, that automatically tells me they're Toshibas for sure. Yeah, those are the pink elephants, dealing with the Toshibas. Yeah, you can use the glass for a driver, I guess. If you idle it down as far as on like a 500Z or something, that way, the tube actually lasts for a long time. Yeah, speaking of a high-low, I mean, I could actually kind of do something like that. I could go ahead and run a couple of wires within the circuit here and set that up to where he'd have like a high-low as far as on the modulated power. Basically like, full competition, which is what it kind of is right now. And then, where you can dial it down too. So, that is a good possibility. I think what I'll do is I'll wait on that though and find out what he wants. Now there is two things that I want to change in here, and that will actually help expand the audio as far as the definition on the audio. Because I mean, he hasn't asked for the hi-fi or anything anything insane like that, but I can help him out as far as on his audio, because I know my voice does not drive a radio near like some of the other guys. I wished it did, but I just don't have that same tone that everybody else has got. That's where small little things like this help out. So we're going to change that out. It'll just enhance his sound quality. I'm not going to go crazy on it. I'm just going to raise up the values a little bit. There's actually 3 that actually change everything, but we're going to just change 2 of them. Let's see here. 0.03. So change it to 0.05. And there we go. It should make it just a little easier to bring those numbers up too. At least with my voice. Hello, audio. 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 Let's see. Audio. 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 Yeah. That gave me a half. At 2 watts, it gained me a half a bird just with my voice. So that should give him a little more of an edge too. So, but yeah, I'll ask him about that. He may not want anything done with that switch, but I'll try to get with him tomorrow and find out. I know he's called me, so I know. Since I know he's in Texas, I may be able to just find it based on a Texas number. Because there's only 2 people that's called me in the last month from Texas, and I know the one guy. So, yeah. Well, JB, we got you done basically, buddy. We got your RF gain back. We've actually tuned your receive where you're going to have incredibly bigger surprise as far as on the amount of receive that you're going to have physically coming in now to the radio. You got an awesome noise blanker on this thing, dude. Your variable actually works now like it's supposed to. I will go ahead and make one small modification here real quick to your talkback. Hello, hello, hello. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. That way it'll sound a little bit cleaner. And that's an easy peasy. Just gotta find this one right here. This will also bring the receipt or the talk back up a little bit when you turn it on. Get this thing to sit down in there where I want it. We're going to add this one little bitty teeny tiny capacitor. All righty. Hello, audio check, check. 1 2 1 2 audio. Check 1 2 audio. So it does make it a little bit louder, but it also makes it a lot clearer. Hello, audio check. 1 2 1 2 audio. It's not going to be near as raspy. All righty. And the SWR, let's check that out real quick. It's coming up, but we'll have to turn the carrier up in order to check it. Yep, and it works. Good. So everything's back to working like it should. All right, except for the normal 9. Like I said, if you want it put back, we'll take care of that. But I'm going to talk to you first on that before we go any further. So other than that, like I said, you're ready to go, big guy. You know, here is all the stuff we took out of the radio to make it work like it does now. So your echo board, your variable on no, that's not even Cat 5, that's telephone wire. So we took that out. I replaced your 16 volt cap that was on your incoming. I've seen too many of these that have failed, especially in the old what was that radio? It was a Chinese radio that everybody loved, and they actually worked really good. I can't remember what it is, but anyways, that, and there's a couple other radios too that use those. And then your talkback that they put in there on the switch, which there really wasn't no need to do it this way. You know, all you got to do is just run you a wire here over to the switch, and bada bing, you've got talkback. Yeah, so we also went ahead and upgraded one of the other main caps that you had. Done away with your diode saver. I'll put it that way. Like I said, I understand the method behind it, but it's not the best way to do it if you're going to try to get power. And then, you know, a couple other caps as far as for your audio to go ahead and give you a little bit more of an edge. You know, same thing here. But other than that, big guy, you should be, like I said, you should be ready to rock and roll. You know, your screws are in there. I'll dig those out of all of this too once I've talked to you, and that way we can get this put back together. So hopefully you'll see the video here shortly. Even if you just thumb through it, you know, you can watch it in its entirety, or you can just thumb through it. But we have you up and ready, and you are done, big guy. So, alrighty, guys, I appreciate it. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it an evening. Go in there and fix me some food, because it is going on 7 o'clock. That way I can settle down a little bit and talk to my wife. I'm actually surprised that she's not video chatted with me all day. But I am glad to see that I've got one more out the door for today. And this was actually one of the, this actually wound up a little bit bigger project than I had really figured it was going to be. But we were able to get through it in one shot. So just a lot of little stuff that needed to be done to it. You know, the variable, I mean, I could have spent an hour and peeled all that stuff off, checked it, and rewired it with, you know, a lot better type of wire, and mounted it and things like that, and redone it. But it's honestly, it's faster just to put one of mine in that I've already got pre-made. So, all right, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, I know it's just been you two, but I do really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Have a great evening. God bless, and we will catch you on the next live feed.